Greetings, friends! In my last video, my wife and I, we started seeds for our spring garden. Yes, even though it's still winter right now, we are gearing up and getting ready for spring. And that continues today. Even though we still have our yurt renovation project going on, and if you haven't kept up with that, make sure you do. We've done a number of videos as we are doing remodeling our yurt, and if you don't know what a yurt is, to make sure you check out some of those videos too. But we also are here on a homestead, and we have a market garden as well as animals here on the farm. And part of the market garden extends to here, the greenhouse, and right now we need to get it ready for spring. And one of the major problems with it right now is it is a mess. Dum dum dum. And there are two main reasons why I have a mess here and a clutter here, as well as why you may have or deal with clutter and messes from time to time. And the first reason is because of bad habits. We have habits where we don't put things back where they belong, as well as taking in and consuming too many things out of I need this, or the mindset of scarcity. I gotta get it on, we gotta collect it all, as well as we have emotional attachment to items, and sometimes we just have trouble letting them go. One of the things that I have found helpful for that is actually just take a picture of some of those items that you may have that attachment to, and just looking at that picture sometimes can be beneficial for that. But the other reason is because we don't have proper areas to put them back to. We don't have proper storage. It was said that everything should have a place, and a place for everything. Well, sometimes we don't have a place for the items that we bring or get. So that's been one of our problems here, especially here in the greenhouse. We have all these items here, but they don't have a designated home. So that's one of the things that we're going to be working on today. Behind me, I have various items that we just, out of bad habits, set in here, as well as some items that just don't have a home. So one of the plans that I have is to make some greenhouse tables with shelves on them, so that way we can properly store some of our greenhouse items, so that way they actually have a place, so we can still work on those habits of putting things back, but they'll actually have a home to go to, a designated place to go. I am not an expert builder, but I do have an idea of making tables with shelves on them from pallets. Let's see if I can do it. Alright, now this is a little embarrassing. Before I get started, I actually need to clear out some space so that I can actually work on building this pallet table. But let me know in the comments section below, what are some areas that you struggle with keeping clean and clutter free? And what are some of the things that you find helpful that you do to alleviate the clutter, alleviate the mess? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright, so I have my area cleared out so where I can have enough room to work comfortably for the most part. And we're going to be using the pallets like I mentioned earlier for our tables. The pallets are going to be, one pallet will be for the top and one will be for the shelf, and you can get pallets pretty much anywhere for free. You just look around in whatever area you're in, and I'm sure you can find free pallets. These are just regular non-pressure treated pallets, but you can find pressure treated ones as well if you want to use those. And we're going to be using some 2x4s left over from some of the things that we're doing to renovate our yurt. So the legs, the 2x4s will be legs for our tables, and I'm planning to do the table at 36 inches wide. And the reason why I'm doing that is because right on the sides of our greenhouse we're making raised beds here, so I want to have enough walkway, which we're kind of doing that with some of the older tables that we've been using that I need to redo. These tables were some prototypes here, but with the tables 36 inches wide and having the raised beds on each side, it'll allow plenty of walk space in between each bed for us to be able to work efficiently and effectively. It's the plan. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to measure out our table, 36 inches. As far as the length, that doesn't really matter because it's going stretching the length of our greenhouse here, which is about 50 feet. So I'm really concerned about that, but the main concern is the width. As I mentioned earlier, make sure we have our walkways. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is cut some of these pieces off here on the back side. Actually cut them all off. That will reduce the weight so the table's not so heavy. It's just unnecessary. Alright, first piece.
Many of us and many of them must stand astray, refusing to bend, defying the terrible weather. Note that once again in time, a man named King of Babylon is on the rise. Let's hope we'll get through. One step wrong and he will fall. We don't think he will dance at all. No more invites to the ball. When he's back down underground, we will
Knock these pieces off and then got some of these nails in. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is cut our legs from our 2x4s here. So I want the tables to be 30 inches high. That gives it enough room for the kids, which are hammering right out there, to be able to work on the tables as well as me, and enough room for the shelves as well. And then from this one, I'll mark my other legs. And I do want to mention, building is not my expertise at all, but I hope that in my imperfections in what we do, that encourage people to just do something. Doesn't have to be perfect, people. Doesn't have to be perfect. For years, people built things without even having measures, tape measures, and power hammers and drills and all that. They still did what needed to be done. And then on our legs, I think I want that bottom shelf to be 10 inches off the ground. So we'll mark here at 10 on each of our pieces so I know where to line up our bottom shelf. Next, we're going to attach our legs and start putting this thing together. Hey Micah, will you give me a hand? I need you to hold this piece of wood. Yep, hold it right there. No, the wood, not the nail. I mean, not the screw. Watch your finger. We got it in. Ooh. Ooh.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
All right, we're gonna come on to the other side. All right, you gonna hold it for me? See, we're gonna go right there. Alright. Not perfect, but hold it right there. Hold it. Oh, I thought you were holding it. I thought you were holding it. Let it go a little bit. Oh, not all the way. Just a little bit. Right there. Okay, we have our first table built. Next thing we're gonna do is take some of our trays and start organizing as we go, building tables and organizing as we're making progress, so that as we're going, we're cleaning up and having a place for things at the same time. Hey Micah, hey Josiah, can you guys go ahead and start bringing some of the seed trays, bootstrap farmer trays, from down on the other end of the greenhouse and stacking them right here on our new shelf?
Yes, sir, Daddy.
Make it happen, guys. There we go. Put the deep trays with the deep trays, the shallow ones with the shallow ones. Deep ones with the deep ones, Micah. No, those are shallow ones, buddy. There you go. Put the deep ones down here. And then the shallow ones right over here. There you go. So I still have a few more tables to do, but we went ahead and added the microgreens here, and it just really adds a nice touch, like a finishing touch, even though we're not finished, to our tables here. Exciting to see it all come together. Alright, one of the things I forgot to mention with your pallets is you want to make sure that they're the same size, and because pallets do come in various sizes. So as you can see here, this one is 4 feet wide, and this one is 40 inches wide. So these two will not be compatible for what we're doing, and this one will be, I believe. Yep, 48 inches. I also want to say that you can just make these tables with buying wood from your local hardware store and not have to reuse pallets, but this is a cost-effective way for those of you who are just trying to be resourceful and recycle and maybe on a tight budget. Well, it's not perfect, but we have made progress today, and it is a lot better in here than it was when we started this day. There's still a number of things that I want to do in here, like get the raised bed set up on each side of the greenhouse and start getting it ready for things to grow in, as well as I want to put gravel down the walkway sides here, and continuing to make a few more tables. We did 1, 2, 3, 4 tables today, and I want to do 3 to 4 more, but I'm out of pallets that are suitable for making tables, so we're just gonna have to do that another time. But we've made progress, and progress is the main thing that we should focus on in our lives, not for perfection. Perfection, we won't attain it. None of us are perfect. None of us do things that are perfect, and there's only been one person that I know of that has ever been perfect and done things perfectly. But the kids have actually started a fire. Lacie helped them get a fire started, and they're actually roasting marshmallows, and they're having a good time, and I'm sure they would love it if I would come and join them. Well, that's it for this video. I do want to mention also that we're doing a giveaway this month for those of you who are signed up for our email newsletter. So make sure you sign up, because we're going to be randomly picking winners based off those of you who are signed up for our email list. And make sure you do. The information is in the show notes below. Well, that's it for today. I think it's been quite a day. It's been a productive day. So I'll see you next time. And as always, be strong, grow on, and live life without excuses.
One, I can get closer.
Wanna tell you
little toasty out here.
I feel like I'm a marshmallow. Ow! What my eye? That's my
You gonna try it? See how it tastes? Is that hot? Is it yummy though? You sure about that?
I think this is gonna taste horrible.
Let's see you taste it. Is it hot? Cool down?
Cool.
Oh, you got yours a little crispy there.
Yeah.
You like it extra
Whammy! No way.
I think Josiah likes his extra crispy, doesn't he?
I like really